Alright, hi everyone. This should be an entertaining video. It might get a bit weird. I'm going to talk to you about miscommunication, and I'm also going to share some of the weird comments I've received on YouTube over the last few years. So the reason I wanted to talk about miscommunication is because there's a funny story relating to CG Matter that I kind of want to tell people. So back in 2020, I think, there was an idea to do like a funny video on the default Cube channel called Mean Art Critique. And basically what would happen is CG Matter would put a notice out on his Discord server asking people to submit their artwork for us to intentionally give mean critique to. So it was like a completely voluntary thing. And people jumped on the opportunity because they thought it'd be hilarious to have CG Matter and a few of us other people that were involved kind of take a look at their work and like tear it apart on video on the actual channel. And it was really fun to do. But the thing is, when we actually came to recording the video, CG Matter, his real name is Tom, he was going by an alias of Caleb for a while and he didn't really want to use his real name, but I think he's actually using it properly now. Tom did the intro to the video and he likes doing things in one take, but in this case it just didn't work out, so we had to start again. But the first recording we did perfectly explained everything. It was like, oh, by the way, we've asked people like on the Discord server to submit their things voluntarily and we're going to do a mean art critique about it. The second take didn't include that information. So it was like, hi everyone, welcome to the mean art critique, here we go. So what ended up happening was we showed all these different artworks on the screen and just like ripped into them, tore them apart, was very critical, tried to be funny while doing it, and then uploaded that video. And the thing is, it really ticked some people off. Obviously the people that didn't know it was a voluntary thing, they thought that we had just taken people's artwork and just started ripping into it. Now obviously a lot of people knew what was going on, and the problem is that when people take part in a joke like that, they write ironic comments. So you had some people making like joke comments like, oh wow, I'm so disappointed about this, like, oh, you were so rude to me and stuff like that as a joke. And some people that are actually thankful for it, but then that really didn't help the situation because the people that didn't know about the Discord server started writing some messages to Tom saying, I'm so disappointed. I think there was like a patron that wrote him like a really long message saying how disappointed with him that he was just critiquing random people's artwork. And we were like, oh no. Oh, that's horrible. So he had to write a comment like in the pinned comments saying like, oh, by the way, because I'm too stupid, this was a joke. If you go back to the video, you'll find it there. And like, that was a really funny story of miscommunication because like when you record videos, it hardly ever goes to plan like on the first take. But you don't, so I try not to laugh, but you don't realize sometimes that you like, because in your short-term memory, you know that you've said something, but you don't remember exactly what take it was. So like, why am I having so much trouble saying? We knew we had told people that it was voluntary, but we forgot what take it was. Oh my gosh. I've never given myself the giggles while recording a video before. Alright, so we had to do a follow-up video after that, which was like a nice art critique, just to kind of balance it out. Oh my god, okay. So like in terms of other miscommunication things, again related to CG Matter, he did a diss track thing where he basically did a proper diss track for a bunch of us other creators and like basically invited us to do another diss track back. I think I'm the only one that actually did it, like out of all the people he dissed, which is kind of weird for me because I'm like, that's not really the kind of thing I would usually do, but I thought it'd be funny and it would get me out of my comfort zone. So I did it, and then he got excited for a laugh. He did a video response to that, which was Curtis Holt is dead, and it had like, the thumbnail was still the same. It's got like a mug shot of my face, kind of just like on a freeze frame, and I hate it because whenever I look myself up now, that video always pops up. But basically, people started getting worried because they were like, "Oh wait, is Curtis actually dead?" And when you would like type in Curtis Holt in the YouTube search bar, it would come up with the predictive text of Curtis Holt dead. Now that is not actually because of this video, because if you've watched Arrow, which I haven't actually watched, I just know about this, there's a character called Curtis Holt, and I guess spoilers, I think they die. I'm not sure, I haven't watched it, but I think it's related to that. So Curtis Holt dead is just like a normal search term anyway. But then like comments started appearing on his video saying, oh, by the way, like you're actually like creating this whole search thing going on. And I started getting messages from people as well saying, oh, are you okay? Just making sure, just checking. So I sent Tom a message saying, look, I hate telling people to like do things like on their channel or like do things a different way, but please, can you change the title for that one? And he was like, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll totally do that. So it's now changed to something like this isn't over Curtis Holt or something along those lines. Now anyway, those are like the funny situations out the way, but I also thought it might be interesting to show you some of the comments I get as well, because again, this is all kind of related to miscommunication, people not understanding something you're saying in a video, or kind of like misinterpreting the purpose behind things. So the first one says here, getting rid of comments in the code is scummy. to me. Okay, so what do you think that's about? Well, basically, when I released the Space Station generator, when I did those generators, there was a free version and a paid version, so there'd be slight differences between them. Usually it's related to like having a certain amount of like more artistic content in the complete version, and the free version would just have like the most basic models possible. But for the Space Station generator, one of the things that was included in the paid version was like a comprehensive set of comments to basically explain how the code works. So I would actually invest time into making nice clear comments for it because it was a bit messy at the time. I don't think I actually had comments, and if I did, they were like very kind of scatterbrained and just not very helpful. So I thought, I know, for the paid version, I'll actually spend some time, sit down and write some clear comments for people to help them understand. So then I got this comment: getting rid of comments in the code is scummy, because this person thought that I removed them from the free version. That's not the case. They weren't removed from the free version, they were added to the paid version. They didn't exist beforehand. But obviously, when people watch you and you're explaining stuff that you've done, if there's something ambiguous like that, if I say, oh, there's extra comments in the paid version, someone can think to themselves, well, he either made them for the paid version or he had them in the free version, then removed them. Which is it? Is it the good one or is it the bad one? And because you're a YouTuber, everyone expects the bad one. So you never get the benefit of the doubt. People want you to be the evil guy in the situation. So this is a form of miscommunication here. Time was invested specifically to work on the paid version for that. So the next one's a bit of a joke, it's quite funny. It says, it's been a while since I've clicked on one of your videos. I thought you were a mech yourself with some sort of beta speech synthesis. But now by clicking on this and seeing your face while you talk, it makes it less distracting to listen and easier just to focus on the content of the video. Biogen looks like a great add-on you've developed. That's quite a funny one. Although it doesn't really make much sense because I've been told by other people that having the face makes it more distracting. I don't know. So I responded, I thought you were a mech yourself with some sort of beta speech synthesis. I love this. Because I did, it was quite funny. The next one's quite rude. I will say this person is known to be a hate commenter. Basically, with the group of creators I speak to, there's like a little library of users that we know just write mean comments. Most of them end up getting hidden from the channels, they don't even realize it, which basically means that their comments don't even appear anymore. So anything they type is just useless, it's thrown to the wind, no one can see it, and I guess they're just talking to themselves now. I don't know if like hate commenters realize that they don't have to be kept on the channel. We can just make all of their comments disappear like that. I don't usually do it, I don't like to do it because comments are engagement, so I'll only do it if it's like really a personal attack or they're having a go at someone else in the comments. That's something I don't like seeing, because occasionally, as you can expect, sometimes someone will share an opinion in the comments and then someone else comes along and then gets like really hateful towards them, and I'm like, no, not in my space. You behave yourself in my comments. But anyway, I'll read you this one. Had a nice time means wasn't responsible and didn't social distance or likely didn't wear masks. Irresponsible either way, don't expect sympathy. So this is where I mentioned a little while ago that I got COVID. After spending a couple of nights at the new house, all I said was, we went out for a meal, I wasn't sure if I got it then or not. Didn't say anything about like wearing or not wearing masks, didn't say anything about how I prepared myself. This person probably doesn't know that I'm immunosuppressed, and does know that I've got a bunch of medical issues anyway. But this is an example of an asshole that assumes things, then takes an assumed fiction inside of their head and just acts on it. This next one is fairly common when it comes to personal things, like related to me, my appearance, how I sound, and all that other stuff. My voice is the main thing that kind of grabs people's attention. So I've had a lot of comments like this, such a monotone voice, or usually it's some form of, you've got such a robotic voice, are you a text-to-speech engine? That one appeared like so much. I have like several methods of responding to comments. Usually I don't respond to comments. Sometimes I'm funny, sometimes I act like overly like enthusiastic for a laugh. Sometimes I'm sarcastic, it really depends, because it's quite fun interacting with them. Sometimes, Michael Bridges brought this up in a recent Blender Nest, you can actually get excited when a hate comment finally appears after such a long time, because it's like, oh yes, finally something I can write something funny to. But in this case, I responded, I will use a fake clown voice for your personal pleasure if you bake 3 soufflés, raise 2 bunnies to become taekwondo masters, and present 1 speech to the UK Parliament about the accumulation of black mold in public libraries. Absurdism is a form of comedy I like, because I think it just throws like seriousness and reality out the window. So yeah, dotted around the channel there's like a few absurdist responses that I have. The next one, just on a random video, I can't remember exactly what video this was, it might have been the unicorn onesie one, which would have made more sense. It just says, wow, gay. I mean, you're kind of half correct. So the next one, this might be a bit too late, but it's that your downloadable files are not editable. What are they talking about? Like, the things I share are blend files that completely editable. I still have no idea what this person's talking about. So I responded to this one back then saying, what are you talking about? They're blend files. There's no way to make them not editable. I'm still confused by that. I have no idea what kind of problem that person encountered on their computer. Like, I've never been able to wrap my head around that one. Okay, the next thing, so when you get to like a certain size of a following, you get like all kinds of emails from companies. A lot of them like aren't people, or they are people, but it's just a lot of copy pasted stuff. A lot of it's bots as well, and it's so obvious when emails are copy pasted. Like, and also they have like this campaign thing going on where they'll send you one email, then they'll send you another one like 3 days later, and then another one and another one. I've got like 20 emails from like a certain company, but this one was weird and annoying where I never ever responded to them. And this was the third email that they sent me. And it says, hey, just checking in to make sure you received my video. After you check it out, let's hop on a call and discuss further. Welcome to the team. What team? I never responded. Okay, this other one comes from a video. I think it's from one of my general ones where I share resources and affiliates and things like that. They says, I'm getting tired of this I will advertise you, you will advertise me trend that's going on recently on YouTube, and in the Blender community specifically. This entire video is worth a simple Google search and is basically one giant advertisement. No offense, mate. Like, oh, when people say something at the end like, oh, no offense, no harm intended, oh, you're great by the way, at the end, it's not fooling anyone. If you said something mean, that little sentence at the end doesn't cover your moral back, alright? So I said to them, feel free to donate so I won't need to advertise anything in the future to keep producing content. Okay, so let me say this about the whole you advertise me, I advertise you stuff in the Blender community. This culture of advertising each other prevents the space from becoming overrun by companies. What I mean by that is, affiliates are a viable substitute for sponsorships, depending on how you do them, of course. I have made enough money with affiliate content in the past to not need to do sponsorships. Of course, there are exceptions to that. Sketchfab, Nvidia, things like that. If you don't know what an affiliate is, basically, you make an agreement with another creator that says, oh, if I tell people about your product, so say for example that, well, my largest partner is CG Boost, right? So they have a lot of fantastic courses and they are genuinely fantastic. I wouldn't talk about them if I didn't actually believe that. But we say to each other, okay, well, if I recommend their course and I cause a sale to be made, then I will get a percentage of the revenue from that sale, which is great because it means that if I get enough people excited about the course, and people aren't stupid, they know if something's actually got value if you show it to them, then I could benefit from that a lot. And this is one of the reasons why even quite early on in the YouTube channel, I didn't need to take sponsorships because Zach from CG Boost was super supportive. He was like, hey, like here's our course, here's what I'm going to set you up with on the percentage wise, here's a bunch of resources to help, and just go for it. And that really carried the channel through. Because of that, I didn't have to shell out to different companies, and I was about to name some, but I don't want to do that because I'll get in trouble. Okay, this next one was a bit confusing. So the LiDAR video, I did a video about LiDAR using the iPhone 12 Pro. So of course, being able to scan things in using the Polycam app, it's a really cool tool. It's really fun to play with. The first video that I ever had past 1 million views, etc. It was a fun one. So I got lots of comments on that. And in the description, I linked everything that I used. Because why not? Being helpful. And this person comments, he literally linked iPhone 12 Pro's URL in the description! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Like, yeah, I did. Because I used it. I assume the stance this person's coming from is probably, oh, look, he linked it in the description, that means he's being paid by Apple. No, I linked it because I used it. Again, like a lacking benefit of the doubt going on. Here's a lovely comment. Make Blender tutorials because nobody hires you. Well, that's a lovely one. How did I respond? Honestly, yes. And then the pro strat, reject all the new offers because now you make enough money doing Blender tutorials. Hallelujah. This is not something I'm ashamed of. This is something I'm very proud of. So this is just a stupid comment. And I know that there are a lot of people in those industries that would kill to have a job like this at the moment. Please tell Robot Voice Man to stop putting his face on thumbnails. No. Okay, this next one is related to people re-uploading my videos. It doesn't happen often. Surprisingly, it mostly happens on the videos that are not related to Blender. That wasn't always the case. Some people used to upload my Blender videos, but it's mostly happened on specifically the intro to coding video, which is quite wider in its audience. So in a couple of cases, I've asked people to take those videos down. There's a copyright section in the YouTube studio where you can actually submit requests for people to take down those videos. I got an email from someone saying, please don't remove my video, please, I love you. Now, I need to say something weird about this, right? On some of these videos, like the re-uploaded ones of mine, it's been a really surreal experience reading the comments, because other people watch the video and then leave feedback, right? So they'll say, oh, you were talking too fast, maybe try talking a bit slower. And then this person responds to them saying, oh yes, I'll keep that in mind for next time. And I'm like, What's going on? You're not even the one making the video. How are you accepting the feedback for it? That doesn't make sense. Like, it messes with my mind. And even more here, like reading this email, please don't remove my video, please, I love you. So I responded, it's not your video, it's my video. If you want more people to enjoy the video, just point them to the original video on my channel. You must ask permission before uploading other people's content. It's weird. It's like some people act like it's theirs, even when you confront them about it. It's like, I made it. I made it. And they're like, no, I made it. Okay, I've got a couple more before we close this up. So here's a comment. Yeah, that's all fine. But why do you look like you're about to burst into tears in that thumbnail? I said, cool, can I get a turn at providing feedback on your appearance? They didn't respond. Now, this last one was a response to one of my email newsletters from Gumroad. It says, thank you, Curtis, but it get annoying. You want everything. Oh1. Close bracket. You want to contribute to the development of 3D Blender, but keep giving away half-baked versions of whatever you are working on. This fact only creates confusion and digital trash. Either sell your stuff or give it away. Full versions. Wait, what? So sell it or give it away the full version? I personally think that what you're doing is great advanced work. People will still support your work if it's worth it. Thank you. Basically, it's saying that I'm not allowed to give a paid version and a free version away, which I think is ridiculous because that's like a compromise for keeping things fair. A paid version for the people that want the full features and a free version so people still have something to work with that they can learn from rather than completely closing everyone out. But anyway, yeah, that's like an insight into some of the comments and things that we have to deal with. Hopefully you found it interesting, possibly funny. You do need some kind of thick skin when dealing with this, but interestingly, one thing I've said to so many people is that the frequency of mean comments and like harsh critique and like personal attacks and feedback and stuff like that has reduced significantly as the audience size has grown, which doesn't make much sense because you'd think that the larger your audience gets, the more hate comments you encounter. For some reason, that's not true, in my case specifically. This may be completely different for someone else. Again, I have a theory that that's somewhat related to being more confident in attacking smaller channels because they don't look like they can defend themselves. Whereas if you leave a hate comment on a larger channel, you're more likely to get backlash for it. That's just my theory. It'll be interesting to see if that changes at any point. And I should also probably ask some other creators of similar sizes how the trend changed for them as well. But anyway, yeah, maybe you found this video interesting. I don't usually give insights like this deep into the channel. Hey, I forgot to record an outro for this video, so goodbye. Okay, it's a bit of a lie. There's actually like 10 more minutes of talking, but I might split it up into another video. We'll see. But goodbye for now.